Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would show you an update on this Combat Core 9 CV I'm building for this month's Anvil Challenge. I did decide to keep on going with the design, and I got some good build time in last night on it. So I did sort of get a lot of the haul done on it. It's there's a lot of tweaks that need to be done yet, and kind of go over some of the stuff too. Now, one of the things I was trying to do, a couple aspects from where I last showed it, is I wanted to get a lot more turrets on here. I had very little before, and I was really struggling to find places to put them. So I kind of worked that out a little bit. Also, I've been trying to use some of the new blocks, experimenting. Like these thruster housings back here are totally not finished at the time, and I know these blocks have geometry issues on the seams. But I really wanted to see what it would look like and what could be done with these blocks. Now they are missing a little bit of transition pieces. Like there's no way to take this shape and turn it into anything but the shape that it follows, and I didn't want to do that for the whole thruster housing. So I'm experimenting with different things, what I could do to like transition from this to whatever else going on over there. Um, and I did kind of work on the side, got the landing gear in. It actually flies now, which is great. You kind of see what it looks like on the back side. Now, again, this is going to be a ship without a hangar on it. And it's going to be basically full of a lot of shield parts and stuff like that. Now, there's a couple of things that are making me sort of happy about the ship right now. One thing is I was playing around with one of the not so impressive new blocks, but it's really working for what I'm trying to do here. And essentially, let me get the HUD on here a second. And what I did is I put in this block here, ramp AB double. Basically, it had that regular 22.5 degree slope angle here, and I sort of flared it out just a little bit right above this area, and then added these really tiny blocks there, trying to make the illusion that this pops out of the ship, essentially. And I kind of like that. That was like my major discovery in block building. Trust me, I've been around a long time. Little things get me excited. Like that, I like this block combination around there. It kind of makes it look like this sort of pops out from the ship, and that's kind of the illusion I was trying to give it. I know I could use a retractable turret there, but I think this looks neater. But it's more of a looks thing. I got a weird turret that I sort of ad hoc'd in here, built out this little thing and try to put like a little, I don't know, shield plating over that's beam that sticks out. Again, just trying to get more turrets onto the ship because it was difficult to find good places to put them on this hull design. It's not very big, but there is that. So on the back side, playing around a little bit too, again, trying to get in some of these curvy blocks. And there's some other newer blocks that I've been trying to put into the ship in various places too. Not too much, so the curvy blocks are definitely the most noticeable. The backside of the ship's kind of funky right now, and I think I'm going to be changing this around. Right now, it kind of reminds me of a battle frog or something. I don't know if you see the frog eyes up here and the big mouth, and it's kind of like if a mech was a frog kind of thing. It's kind of my first thought impression on it. It's kind of neat in a way, but at the same time, maybe a little too frog-like features on the back. So I'll probably do some more block work there. And obviously, I really want to have some nice-looking thrusters on here, and right now I'm not there. Again, a lot of experimentation. So one thing I am happy about, since I actually did put I put in a big generator in here, and whatnot. So it's got the 2x2x6 generator installed. It's got 15 current cheap turrets, the cannons or minigun turrets, but I'm only hitting 817,000 CPU right now. I got a budget of 2.1 million on this build, which is kind of getting me kind of a little excited here because if we take a look at our general thruster specs at the moment in time, they're pretty good. They're really quite good. A little better than I thought they would be. Which is wonderful. Now, granted, the ship is going to get heavier. I got to add in the shield parts and the shield and the warp drive and all the other CPU eating things and storage and all that. So, I mean, these specs are going to severely go down from where they are right now. Probably half of what you see right now. But I'm cool with that, even if it drops down to 41 ms strafing, which is its weakest directions. I'm still okay with it. The forward speed is pretty ridiculous at this point in time, but I mean at the end of the day, it's using 817,000 CPU currently, and that's going to give me a lot of leeway to put in other things like more shield parts and stuff like that. Now, one other thing I did want to put into the body here somewhere is probably like a 4-pack of laser cannons, and to help bring down the enemy shield. And not to mention, I do like, just personal preference, I do like manual fire weapons when you're in combat in the mix. Now, if you have a ship that's entirely based on turrets, obviously they all auto target, and so what you're actually doing in gameplay is just kind of flying around what you're trying to kill. Of course, there's some tactics to that and how you're doing it and whatnot. But I do like having some fixed weapons in the mix. I think it just adds, it's a little more engaging in combat, and would kind of promote you to do a little more maneuvers and trying to get like target specific areas and things like that. So I did want to get a 4-pack of laser cannons somewhere on this thing yet. I'll have to figure out where they're going. One other little thing it's going to have here is a small landing pad on the back. This is mainly just meant to carry around like a SV salvager or miner or some utility creation that you want with you when you're out doing this kind of thing, which I think is kind of helpful too. I mean, it definitely is. If you run into like a more of a straight up combat ship and you blow it up, and then it's like, oh, I don't have anything to salvage it with, or like it was said in the stream yesterday, it's like, oh, I just passed a unmined gold asteroid, and I got nothing with me to do anything about it. That kind of sucks. So having a little landing pad so you can bring around something with you, I think is helpful for gameplay as well. Again, a lot of things will probably get modified a little bit more on the body. Especially, I got to build out the thrusters, modify the back, and it has no bottom side to it right now either. So all that will be filled in. As in the interior layout, it's pretty much going to be engineering in the back section of the ship, and that's kind of what I'm reserving like this whole area for. And I'm going to try to get in multiple medium shields and small shield parts. I'm not going to go into the large shield part or fusion reactor on this build. That's just a higher end stuff for higher end builds, basically. This one's going to try to be fairly inexpensive for the type of ship that it is. Now, right now, the hull is built entirely out of carbon. I don't know how you all feel about that. I'm looking at it as in a perspective, at least how I intend the ship to be used, to I don't see the point on having heavier, stronger hull if you're just going to operate this solely on your shield. I just don't see the point in it because it'll slow your ship down, and if you want to counterbalance that, you got to add more thrusters, which take more CPU. And when you got a budget of CPU and you don't really want to go past that budget, that means you're going to have to lower down the shields or the offensive capabilities or something else. And literally, if you're just doing the shield game, and if your shield's going to go out, you get out of the combat, let it charge back up, rinse and repeat. If all goes well and nothing unexpected happens, or your situational awareness is not impaired, you probably pull it off, and not take any damage whatsoever. So if you're not intending on taking any damage whatsoever, why have a heavy hull that's stronger and just takes more resources to build and move around and all that other stuff? So again, I mean, this is a topic that's certainly up for debate. This is not a ship for legacy space. That is a definite thing. This is a shield dependent ship again, and I'm going to try to make it as much firepower and shield as I can within the budget of CPU, and that's kind of the goal. So it'll probably have some more weaponry on it yet too. And I did leave this front door thing here too. I thought that I just thought it looked kind of neat, kind of like a raiding vessel or something like that. Like you do your combat, and then your troops all come running out like D-Day or something like that. I don't know. But even though I didn't think that was a very good idea back in D-Day either, running right out in the front into enemy fire with no like barricades or anything in front of you and that. I thought that was not a very good idea, but that's just my opinion. So as in faction on this one, my first thought was to go with Skaar, and I still can do that, but I'm also seeing that it would probably fit in quite well to the Imperial faction. In fact, when I was building this, I kept on thinking of the Kovacs. It had the way I was doing the front end, it had some similarities and things like that to it. And also, the Kovacs also has kind of thrusters kind of off to the side, a little bit like this ship does as well. But I try to mix it up enough so it's entirely a different ship and not like that. And it was a little off-putting when I was building, and I'm like, man, this is awful lot like that other ship I was building, or past ships that I built. And I kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit more. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll go completely on the vote count. You know, majority rules. Would you rather see this Skaar or Kovacs? If it was Skaar, I would Skaar it up a little bit more. In other words, add a little more chaos into the block work and maybe a little spiky things and stuff that would be appropriate for Skaar. If it's Imperial, it'll probably be a little cleaner and do this kind of more of a black and white type of paint job on it, and obviously the Skaar looked quite a bit different than that. So anyway, moving on. This is really cool here. Let me. It looks like it fell out of the sky. Gosh darn it! I had it spawned up there. Every time we look at these things, I like to follow the sky. So this is by Matcz CZ, and this is a basically like a AI controlled Kriel CV. That I'm definitely hoping is getting into the game. I'm pretty sure it is. And this is really, really cool. I'm really impressed with the design work of the author here. As in for Kriel, it looks very Kriel. Kriel, it's following a lot of the same design cues, kind of the abdomen thing, the very unusual bug-like features and things like that, or sea creatures or whatever. I mean, it really hits all the marks of looking very Kriel. Now, there's kind of like the two Kriels though. There's the two Elder Kriels, which are a little different than the regular purple Kriels like this one is. But all the things that I noticed that the author did perfectly awesomely is like this whole section here, the abdomen. You can see all the different transitions and colors, like the purple kind of fades in and out, and there's like different gradients along the paint job. Of course, the texture lights, that's a kind of a big thing with the traditional Kriel as well. But yeah, I thought it was really cool, and I was flying around the bottom side here too, just taking a look at the intricacies going on here. Just detailed everywhere you look, and like this back area here, the way this is folding in, kind of again like some kind of abdomen or something like that. It just it really hits the marks for Kriel. Kriel does a lot of this kind of thing, and yeah, it's just doing all of it. So very, very impressed. Very nice, nicely detailed ship here. Let me turn off the light, and I'll just do a quick walk in. Now, again, this is a POI controlled ship, or AI controlled ship. Excuse me. So it's not for a player, and it actually has spawn points and all kinds of other things going on in here. So you would engage this in game and then tour the inside and probably shoot up some bad guys and that kind of thing. But the interior I thought was really, really neat as well. If you take a look at the lighting and the overall architecture of the blocks and the texture lights and all that, it's looking very, very Kriel to me. So, and very detailed too. So everything's really cool going on here, and it's not a giant ship or anything like that, but it is yeah, really nice. Everything's done nicely in here. I definitely hope to see this in the game, probably floating around in Kriel space somewhere, and we'll see how it all plays out going through it. Obviously, you can see some spawners and various things in the ship, so there's going to be some gun battling and stuff going on the interior here, which is definitely cool. But yeah, really cool work with the textures, the lighting, the overall design elements and whatnot. This is just a really cool formation, by the way. It's kind of like 2 floors, and it's got these big support beams on the inside and stuff like that. Very nicely done. Anyway, so yeah, hats off to Matcz CZ for really pulling off a really cool looking Kriel, in-game content kind of ship, So it's yeah, that's cool. So definitely wanted to show you that as well. And other than that, that's all I've got for today. Of course, I'm always looking for suggestions and comments and stuff on these builds here. I guess the number one I'm looking at now is what faction do you think it ought to be, Imperial or Skaar? I kind of ruled out human. I don't really want to do another human ship right now. I'd rather have it in one of the other two. A little bit more interesting to texture and color and things like that, I think. On the other two, they got a little bit more involved texturing schemes than the straight up humans that I've been do. And again, this isn't done yet, so I'm gonna keep on trying to make it look prettier, and obviously finish the thrusters and the bottom side, and try to get rid of the frog out of the frog rear end here, and make it look kind of cool in some other way. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So anyway, let me know what you think, and other than that, y'all have yourself a great day. I will talk to you later.